When you have a problem, all you do is you create a bigger problem. When I realized that I was losing vision in my left eye,
Okay.
and I visited various doctors, but they could not find out the reason for it. Today, most of the Jawans on the border are eating rotis developed by me. I want to bring down food technology science such a way that a farmer can understand it. I have trained a lot of women in various skills like chocolate making and stuff like that. I cull out traditional recipes which were prevalent during Vedic times.
Wow.
Like Vedic cheese. What I realized there was quite shocking. That people, the farmers were actually throwing away the milk.
क्या कभी आपने सोचा है जो फूड हम खाते हैं वो कुछ स्पेसिफिक शेप्स और फॉर्म्स में क्यों होता है? वाई इज समोसा ट्रायंगुलर और वाई इज अ लड्डू राउंड? क्या आपको पता है इसके पीछे भी साइंस है? फूड अर्गोनॉमिक्स. फूड अर्गोनॉमिक्स इज अ पार्ट ऑफ फूड टेक्नोलॉजी. आज के हमारे गेस्ट एक फूड टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट है, लेकिन बस इतना ही नहीं, उनकी लाइफ और कहानी एकदम एक्स्ट्रा ऑर्डिनरी है. इमेजिन कीजिए आपकी स्मूथ सेलिंग लाइफ एकदम से ट्रैजिक टर्न लेती है. इमेजिन करने में भी डिफिकल्टी हो रही है, राइट? आज के हमारे गेस्ट ने अपनी लाइफ में एक ऐसी मेडिकल प्रॉब्लम फेस किए कि 17 आवर्स की मुश्किल सर्जरी ने उनका पूरा लेफ्ट साइड पैरालाइज कर दिया. लेकिन उन्होंने पैरालिसिस का स्ट्रांग मुकाबला किया और एक नए पर्पस के साथ अब आगे बढ़े, अपनी नॉलेज को फूड टेक्नोलॉजी और सोसाइटी में असली चेंज लाने के लिए यूज किया. करेज, इनोवेशन और डिटर्मिनेशन की एक जबरदस्त कहानी सुनने के लिए रेडी हो जाइए. वेलकम बैक टू करियर स्टोरी टेलर. आज के हमारे गेस्ट है चैतन्य होस्कोटे सर. उनके पास देश और विदेश में फूड एंड बेवरेज कंपनीज को मैनेज करने का 40 साल का अमेजिंग एक्सपीरियंस. डीवाई पाटिल कॉलेज ऑफ बायो इन्फॉर्मेटिक्स एंड बायोटेक्नोलॉजी में विजिटिंग प्रोफेसर होने के नाते उनका एक्सपीरियंस नए फूड प्रोडक्ट डेवलपमेंट, शेल्फ लाइफ का असेसमेंट और फूड अर्गोनॉमिक्स जैसे इंटरेस्टिंग एरिया में है. 70 इयर्स के होते हुए भी उन्होंने अपने पैशन और नॉलेज को काम में लगाया, जिसमें महाराष्ट्र गवर्नमेंट के फूड इनिशिएटिव्स में इंपॉर्टेंट कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस करते हैं. इसके साथ साथ उनके पास फूड अर्गोनॉमिक्स में पेटेंट भी है. हम उनकी यूनिक कहानी, एक्सपीरियंस और स्ट्रॉन्ग इरादे को सुनने के लिए काफी एक्साइटेड है. सो विदाउट फर्दर अडू, लेट्स वेलकम चैतन्य सर.
Hello Chaitanya sir, welcome to the Career Storyteller. It's a great honor having you on our show.
Oh, thank you very much. In fact, Ramya, thank you very much for giving me this opportunity.
No sir, we are in fact blessed and honored to have you. So sir, our podcast theme, that is unconventional career path, career journey and unconventional people. So it suits your journey perfectly. So to begin with, what we want to understand from you is your journey on a unconventional path, wherein your unfortunate medical error that has happened. If you are comfortable sharing with us for our audiences, if you could please share about.
Certainly, no problem. Well, you'll be surprised to know that initially I had nothing to do with food technology, because I was a graduate in statistics. I did my BSc with statistics physics. And later on I shifted to food technology. I went to CFTRI and I did my MS and later on my PhD from there. You see? And the journey has been a very beautiful experience, because food technology is one such subject. It's such a vast subject and so much scope for innovativeness that it is unbelievable. Just like the sky, the more you go, there is more to go.
Correct.
Similarly, in food technology, the more you get into it, there is still more to go. So it's a never ending subject. So that's what makes it more exciting, and that's why I love it very much.
So sir, could you talk about how maybe your life turned like 360 degree when you had this unfortunate medical error, right? So how did that happen and how did you cope up with that? कैसे आपने अपने आप को फिर से इस मार्ग पे आप आए और कैसे आपने फिर कॉन्कर किया?
वेल कॉन्कर किया मुझे पता नहीं मैंने कॉन्कर किया कि नहीं, क्योंकि दिल्ली बहुत दूर है. So, पता नहीं मुझे. But anyway, I was in Muscat when I realized that I was losing vision in my left eye.
Okay.
And I visited various doctors, but they could not find out the reason for it. In Middle East, whoever was a good doctor, I visited him. Finally, I went to the US. And then when everybody said that there's nothing wrong with you, then the question was, why was I losing vision in my left eye? So finally, I came down to Bombay and I went to Bombay Hospital, where fortunately I met my childhood friend, Dr. Uday Andar, who was then a famous neurosurgeon.
Okay.
And he straight away put me into the MRI machine, on this machine. And when it was all over, they realized that there is a tennis ball sized tumor on the right side here.
Okay.
You can see a sort of a depression here.
Correct.
So
correct.
there was a tennis ball sized tumor here. So he said that it has to be extricated. So the extraction preparation started, and the operation took place. The operation started in the morning at 6:30 and went on till 11:30 at night.
My God.
With 3 surgeons operating on me. You see? So they cut open my skull. And after cutting open my skull, they cut the tumor and they extracted the tumor. And maybe during that process, I don't know exactly what happened, but I was paralyzed on the operating table.
Oh my God.
When I went inside the operating table, I was fine. When I came out, I realized that something was wrong. See, till then I had only heard the word paralysis, but I did not know what it was.
Right.
So for the first time, it dawned upon me that what exactly is paralysis. Because they put me on the bed and then I wanted to turn to my right. And I realized that I could not turn, because then I realized that as if I had no left hand at all. There was no feeling of the left hand. And then I started worrying. I said, what is this? So I asked the nurse, she was just next to me. I said, what has happened? She said, no sir, you are paralyzed. That's why you don't have the feeling.
Wow.
Okay, so this is where the journey started. Because then I realized I had a choice in life. I either sit and keep crying that this has happened to me, or I get up and I get going and I say, okay, this is there, so what? Let me do what I want to do in my life.
Absolutely.
Wow.
You see? And so started my journey.
Wow.
And being a food technologist, I always felt that whatever I've learned should be of advantage to the society. So I started looking out for various opportunities. And I have trained a lot of women in, various skills like chocolate making and stuff like that, so that they can earn during their afternoon time which they have. They can make some product and they can earn. So I used to train women with certain skills. Then I started working with the farmers and so on, then realized what their problems were. And this took me on. you know.
वाओ दैट्स अ वंडरफुल जर्नी. आई एम श्योर हमारे ऑडियंस को बहुत ज़्यादा इंस्पिरेशन मिला रहेगा आपका स्टोरी जान के, क्योंकि जैसे हम बात कर रहे थे इवन ऑफ कैमरा भी, so you are full of life and there is so much to learn from you. I'm sure people would learn from you even in this podcast. And I really salute you for your courage and for your determination. आपने कैसे इतना बड़ा obstacle को पार किया and you are literally standing on your feet now, and this is a commendable thing, sir.
Can I tell you a Zen story
Yes.
which has influenced me a lot?
Absolutely.
Okay, there is a Zen aphorisms, as they call it.
Mhm.
So the aphorism goes like this: how do you solve a problem? So once there was a Zen master who asked his students,
Mhm.
how do you solve a problem? So the students said, oh, you go down to the basics of that problem, analyze it, bisect it, dissect it, and then come to the source of the problem. And for every answer they gave, the Zen master used to say, no, this is not the right answer. Finally, the students got frustrated, and then they said, okay, now you tell us what is the right answer. He said, it's very simple. When you have a problem, all you do is you create a bigger problem.
How does that happen?
How does that happen? Very interesting. Now, for example, I landed with this paralysis, and my fingers have not opened for the last 20 years.
My God.
They are in this state for the 20 years. So this was a problem with me.
Correct.
Now the trick is that all my senses, my mind is now concentrated on this paralysis.
Mhm.
So 24 hours I'm with this paralysis. So one has to take away their mind away from this problem. You see? So when the Zen master said that you create a bigger problem, so what did I do? I started learning the art of making chocolates.
Wow.
And as I started getting into it, I realized that it was not as easy as one thought it to be. Because I landed directly with the making of truffle chocolates. And truffle chocolates is quite a very sensitive product. You know, the person who taught me once told me that chocolate making humbles a person. If a
Wow.
person has got a massive ego, teach him how to make chocolates. And within 6 months, he'll become a humble man. And it is, I just don't know, but it is true. The moment one feels that I have mastered the art of chocolate making and I know it, and there is no more to go, this is the end of it and I know it all, that day the chocolate, I have to literally take it and throw it in the dustbin. You see? And that brought me to the point that I need to be very humble. And the person who taught me how the art of chocolate making, you know what he used to do? He used to keep all the ingredients in front of him, and then he used to fold his hands and he used to pray and he used to mutter something. So one day I picked up the courage and I asked him, I said, what are you muttering? So he said, nothing. He said, well, all I do is I fold my hands and I surrender before the ingredients. And I tell the ingredients that, look, please help me into becoming a good chocolate, making a good chocolate.
Interesting.
You'll have to cooperate in the making of a good chocolate. So please do that. So I surrender to the ingredients. And he said, miraculously, whatever you do turns out well.
Wow.
And there's another one which I had read a long ago. You know, when Chandigarh was designed, it was termed
The
as one
making
of
of
the
this-
most beautiful city.
Yes.
It was Le Corbusier, I think, who designed the city.
Okay.
And he did everything in arches. So in one of the press conferences, one of the persons asked him, why did you do everything in arches? And he gave a beautiful answer. He said that I kept a brick on my table, and every morning when I came to the office, I would look at it and I would ask a question to that brick. What is it that you want to be? And he said one day the brick woke up and told me, I want to be an arch.
Wow.
That's why you will find everything in arch. You know, the whole of Chandigarh, whatever he designed, everything is in terms of an arch. And it was a famous statement. I asked the brick what it wanted. The brick replied, I want an arch.
Wow.
You know, and what a big philosophy it is. You
Absolutely.
see? And I started learning the art of talking with my ingredients. Sometimes people who look at me when I'm working, they laugh at me.
Mm-hmm.
But I allow them to laugh because then I know what I'm doing. You see? And many of the times my close relatives and friends and students, they tell me, सर आप जब चॉकलेट बनाते हैं तो इतना स्वादिष्ट और अच्छा बनता है, वही फॉर्मूला उतना ही ग्रामेज सब हम डालते हैं, मगर हमारा चॉकलेट आप जैसा क्यों नहीं होता है? ये इसी वजह से नहीं होता है.
That's your secret ingredient.
That is my secret.
Wow.
That I surrender before the ingredients.
Wow.
And I request the ingredients to cooperate with me.
Amazing.
It might look a foolish thing, it might look a simple thing, but try it out. It works wonders.
Amazing.
Amazing story, sir, to say. I mean, just with the experiences that you had, or maybe the challenges that you have faced, but ensuring that, as you said, or maybe the motivation jo aapne, you trying to find out what is a bigger motivation for me to look forward for my rest
Yes.
of my life, right? So this is really an inspiring story, to be honest. Maybe now we'll get into the details of your skill. You've been talking about, making chocolates and all those things. But before that, we'll try to understand the industry that you belong to, right? The food industry. So just to explain, what is food technology, right? I mean, just for a person like
A
me,
layman.
who has
What
no
exactly?
idea.
Yes,
Yeah.
a very good question. Because many people think that it has got to do something with hotel industry,
yes, yeah.
being a chef or something
Yes.
like that. It is none of that. See, Ramya, you might be making tomato sauce at home. Okay, you make the sauce, you bottle it, and within 3 or 4 days, you consume the whole thing.
Correct.
Okay, and you are done with it. But when you come commercially into the market, there are various aspects that come into the fore. One is all throughout the shelf life of that product. It might be there on the shelf for 10 days, 15 days, 1 month. The taste has to be the same.
Correct.
The product should not go bad. The shelf life should be maintained, so
Correct.
to say. Okay, so all this science of maintaining the shelf life, maintaining the taste for a specific period of time is what food technology does. So that's why it's called as food science and technology.
Interesting. So, sir, you talked about maybe ensuring that product doesn't go bad for a particular period of time, right? जैसे जिसको हम लोग नॉर्मल टर्म में एक्सपायरी जैसे बोलते हैं. तो एज अ फूड टेक्नोलॉजिस्ट आप कैसे इंश्योर करते हो कि डिटरमाइन कैसे करते हो कि ये पर्टिकुलर फूड का एक्सपायरी होगा और बियॉन्ड दिस इट कैन नॉट बी कंज्यूम्ड?
Okay, so for that I need to go one step backwards. Okay, and the thing is, first, when I sort of come forward with a product, I'll give you an example. Here is a product which I've brought for you.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. So
Thank
this is
you.
a gift from me to you,
Thank you.
and it contains chocolates with Brahmi and Shankapushpi.
Okay.
Okay. Today's life is such that people are stressed out because of the traffic. Children are stressed out because of the load that they have to learn, and this you can see their bags,
Correct.
and from the
Absolutely.
bags you come to know that how much stressed out they could be.
Yes.
They have to come home, then they go for this class, they'll go for that class, and then there is parent pressure. Parents want that their child perform, and they have huge expectations from them.
Correct.
These expectations put a lot of stress on the child
Yes.
Correct.
because he gets this into a fear complex that if I don't perform and bring forth the results, my parents will be angry with me. So he's stressed out because of that.
Mm.
So this whole world, I think, is just a reaction of stresses. It's a linkage.
Mm-hmm.
And somewhere we have to calm down and we have to be ourselves to perform.
Correct.
Now, mine is a small, I would say, a contribution in this area.
Mm-hmm.
What I've done is Brahmi and Shankapushpi, generally Ayurvedic products.
Yes.
Mhm.
They are very potent,
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
but they are equally bitter.
Okay.
And just given to consume it, nobody would like to consume it
Uh-huh.
raw. So what I've done is I've used the medium of chocolates
Okay.
and I've used chocolate as a masking agent.
Okay.
And I've developed these chocolates so that the taste of Brahmi and Shankapushpi are nullified.
Wow.
And one gets to taste only the chocolate. So this is the...
Creation.
So what we do is when we come out with a new product,
Mm-hmm.
we first see who is my customer who is going to consume it.
Hmm.
Okay.
Is it a small child? Is it a school-going child? Or a college-going student?
Mm-hmm.
Or a person in his early 20s?
Hmm.
Or a person in his early 30s? So all these matters are noted.
Mm-hmm.
And then we come to the conclusion. The first thing is, who is my customer? Who is going to be my customer? That is the main thing.
Okay.
So if I get to know, okay, Ramya is going to be my customer.
Hmm.
Okay. So what does Ramya like? Does she like sweet things? Does she like spicy?
Mm-hmm.
Does she like bitter?
Hmm.
Or what? So once I know that, then what I do is I sit down and I work out the parameters.
Okay.
Okay, so my food product, I'm going to make this for Ramya. I'm going to make it sweet because she loves sweet. And I will add this and this so that there's no load of excessive sugar,
Hmm.
because people nowadays are very conscious about their
Correct.
sugar intake.
Correct.
So how do I do that? Like for example, in my chocolates, we don't use any sugar.
Then what is
No
the
added sugar.
What is that sweetener over
See, it's cocoa is such a beautiful product.
there? Uh-huh.
Just like you've seen sugar, no? You've seen your mother make a sugar syrup.
Correct.
And what in Marathi we say,
Pa.
ek tari pak,
Huh.
don tari pak,
Pak.
Hmm.
and goli band pak.
Hmm.
Yes.
You're like when you make these sweet laddus,
Correct.
Ah,
you use goli band pak
Hmm.
yes.
because you want it soft. But when you want something a little brittle or harder, you go for ek
Ek.
tari pak.
Huh.
Okay. When you want something which is a little more brittle, then you go for dod tari pak.
Hmm.
Now this is the traditional way of
Measuring.
measuring things. So the technical thing I will not get into it,
Hmm.
but it has got various names. And at various temperatures you can achieve that.
Okay.
Similar thing with crystallization of cocoa.
Okay.
So cocoa more, it has got to do with visual attributes.
Hmm.
So at a particular point when you are treating cocoa, it starts giving a particular shine.
Okay.
Okay. That shine is very good because at that point, if you stop the process and you use it in a product like a cream or something,
Hmm.
it's very good for the skin tone.
Wow.
Hmm.
That's why they apply cocoa cream.
Oh.
Yes.
You see? So you go further up in temperature and then cocoa starts giving you a shape
Hmm.
where you can hold on to a shape.
Okay.
because sometimes you want cocoa in a liquid state, like you want in a chocolate dip or something you want to create, a liquid state. So that you treat it to a different temperature.
Okay.
But when you give it a form, it has a further temperature that you need to achieve.
Okay.
And at that temperature, whatever shape you give it, it holds on to that shape.
Okay.
So that is the beauty of cocoa. You know?
Wow.
So that's how it is. That's all the whole science of it is.
Amazing.
Okay, so maybe there is one more product, sir. The almond milk, I believe. Would you like to talk about that as well?
Yes.
And this, I think, would be trendy because आजकल सबको lactose intolerance
Yes.
होता है and उन लोग alternative for a milk they try and people go for almond milk. Can you
Yes.
talk about that?
Yes. Actually, I am now 70 years old
Mm-hmm.
and I have started my own small enterprise
Mm-hmm.
in partnership with a good friend of mine.
Mm-hmm.
And people ask me कि क्या why do you want अभी आराम करो यार इतना बरस काम किया है पैसा किया है आराम से बैठो और you know
Chill मारो.
chill मारो
Chill, maro.
but क्या है coming back to the same thing,
Hmm.
I create a bigger problem.
Correct.
Yes.
So what I've done is that I created a bigger problem in my own area, that is food processing.
Hmm.
And I've come out with a company called Sattavedic. You see,
Okay.
what I do in that is I cull out traditional recipes which were prevalent during Vedic times.
Wow.
Wow.
Like Vedic cheese.
Uh-huh.
Hmm. Vedic cheese.
Cheese, yes. Cheese was prevalent during Vedic period. Very much prevalent.
I thought it was just the modern
No.
times.
It was prevalent during Vedic period and it was called as Prushti.
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 Okay.
You see? And there were a lot, and it's amazing that how much science was prevalent during that time.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they had cheese for various occasions. They had cheese for various type of diets
Hmm.
and various things. So having learned Sanskrit, I went through the scriptures and I culled out various recipes. Though the recipes are not very clear, like the way you get it nowadays in magazines,
Yeah.
add so much of 20 grams
Correct,
of
correct.
this, not that way. So they have just written the ingredients, so and so ingredients, So then I had to experiment and find out how much of what do I add.
Okay.
So I did that. It took me 1 year.
Hmm.
And now I have a range of cheeses. That is the plant-based cheese,
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
both in cheddar form and mozzarella. And now I have gone further. See, at every stage, I believe in creating a bigger problem. Okay? Because that excites me, and that generates in me an energy to, work towards it. So I said, one day I was just sitting and I was making this plant-based cheese.
Hmm.
It just dawned on me. I said, जुने जमाने में कैसे चीज खाते होगे, चीज रहता था क्या?
हाँ.
So I have a friend of mine who has the original texts,
Okay.
Upanishads and this. So I started pulling out literature from that. And his father, my friend's father, he's well versed in Upanishads and various. He helped me to identify in which Upanishad it is there. And I started taking out the recipes.
Hmm.
But there are no fixed quantities what you need to have
Correct.
what. So that I had to sort of judge and trial and error.
That's where your food technology came into picture.
Yes. So my first Vedic cheese will be out in the market. I
Wow.
have kept it for shelf testing.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
So once it is tested, then I will bring it in the marketplace.
Wow.
But in the
Wonderful.
meantime, what I've done is that I manufacture alternate milk.
Uh-huh.
That is Milk is actually a wrong word. It's a beverage
Exactly.
because milk comes from, mammals.
Yes.
So it's a beverage, almond beverage,
Okay, and that's the reason why the name almond beverage.
almond beverage. You see? So this is the beverage which we make. Is made of almond. I also make it from little millets. That is varai.
Wow.
The millets. Oh,
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
We have this upvas ka varai.
Varai,
It's the
white color one.
White color.
Yes.
Okay. It's very prevalent in Maharashtrian community.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Whenever they fast, they
fast.
eat upvas ki varai.
Yes.
So a very nutritional product.
Yeah.
You see. So I extract. I make a beverage out of it. But I am the only person who extracts, makes a beverage out of it using enzymes.
Okay.
Rest all do it by soaking it, grinding it,
Squeezing it.
then filtering
Filtering
it.
out.
And then they add palm oil into it to give it a viscosity.
And then call it as a almond milk.
And then they call it as almond milk. We don't add preservatives.
Okay.
Do you know the interesting part, Ramya? Our very own spices
Uh-huh.
like black pepper. Then there is something called as pimpli. It is called as a long pepper.
Long pepper.
Long pepper.
Okay.
Piperica longum is the
Longum.
botanical name.
Okay.
Okay. These are all very good antibacterial agents.
Mm-hmm.
That's why in our kada they say, no?
Yes.
Correct.
They add black pepper
Peppers.
and pimpli and all, and then they drink it.
Correct.
That's why it has got a very strong antibacterial agent. So what I've started experimenting, again coming back to the same point, I've created a bigger problem for myself. And the bigger problem is I want to substitute all the present preservatives which are there,
Uh-huh.
some of which are banned by the food authorities.
Can you
Okay.
name a few?
Well, I don't think it will be proper to
Okay.
name of.
Okay.
But it is not good for human health, you see. But it just got this idea, why not use black pepper and pimpli and dalchini? Dalchini is an excellent against yeast and molds.
Wow.
Okay.
So I've started experimenting with that. I've started adding it in my
Almond
I'll
beverage.
call it almond milk
Uh-huh.
for purpose of convenience,
हाँ.
but it's an almond beverage.
So sir, आपका फूड टेक्नोलॉजी फील्ड में जो कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशंस हो गया है अब तक, तो उसके बारे में आप थोड़ा बता सकते हो क्या हमारे ऑडियंसेस के लिए?
Okay. It's more of like a social obligation,
हाँ.
I think there are many interesting projects, but I'll state 3 or 4 which
Sure.
one is I'm connected with this food clusters program of the government of Maharashtra.
Okay.
So
Interesting.
they allotted me Osmanabad cluster for milk.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so I had the opportunity of working with milk,
Mhm.
and what I realized there was quite shocking.
Mhm.
That the farmers were actually throwing away the milk. On one side here, people are, going hungry because there is no food to eat. On the other side, we are throwing away things.
Correct.
So ये दिमाग में बैठता नहीं था.
हाँ.
So I went to Osmanabad, and first thing when I saw it, I told the farmers that from now on, don't throw away the milk.
Uh-huh.
And the government has given them a facility to make khawa. They have given them a common facility, as they call it, where they can take their milk, put it in the machine and make khawa, and then sell it in the market.
Okay.
But what happens is that, being a pure khawa, the price is a little higher.
Hi.
and the markets require very economical kava.
Kava.
So many of them, what they do is they add palm oil in it and bring down the price.
Oh
Okay.
God.
You see, but there are some farmers who don't believe in doing that.
Hmm.
But they are paying the price because they are unable to sell,
Sell it.
and their kava stocks go on rising.
Correct.
Hmm.
So now what to do? Then I realized that value addition of such products is the only way out.
Amazing.
Because some people said you give them a cold room. See, cold room is not a solution. It's a temporary solution. But what happens with the cold room is it increases the price of that product.
Absolutely.
Because maintaining that product, you are spending lot on electricity. That goes into the costing of the product.
Correct.
You see,
Agreed.
so the price goes high. Again, they are unable to sell. So then, what can we do? So then I realized the best way out is going for value addition of that product.
Mm-hmm.
So I started working in that area, and here is something that I would like to show you.
Okay.
This we have made from kava,
Huh.
and what we have done is that we have made, sort of a confectionery
Mhm.
from kava.
Okay.
Wow.
And now I'm sort of contacting various temple authorities
Amazing.
to give it as a prasad.
Oh.
Superb.
And
Sir, can we open this
yes,
just for our audiences?
yes,
So, best from the waste, as we say, right? So, instead of wasting milk,
yes.
a kava in the form of prasad is being made. This is amazing. I would like to taste this.
Yeah,
It's very tasty.
in some temples they give laddus as prasad.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So
Correct.
I'm trying to market this into some temples where they can give this as a prasad.
Uh-huh.
And
Amazing.
so that it's a win-win situation for all. The temple authorities are assured that we don't use anything apart from ghee, because of excessive milk production.
Mm-hmm.
We make kava and we make ghee.
Wow.
So that ghee is used in this. So no animal fat or anything is used. So we got it laboratory tested. So and we show those laboratory reports to the temple authorities.
That's an amazing piece of work, I would say. This would be revolutionary if
Yes.
this comes out.
No, and all their kava is being used for making prasad.
Wow.
Wow.
So let it go into all temples, no?
Correct.
Yes.
You see. Anyway, Lord Krishna loved milk products. So उनको खवा खिलाएंगे भोग बोल के.
Correct.
Again, a bigger problem, but an amazing solution.
Yeah. The only way to solve a problem is by creating a bigger
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 problem.
problem.
You see, so this is one such example.
So, I think also we would love to, or maybe our listeners would also love to hear the story, or maybe your contribution to the nation, I would say, or maybe
Absolutely.
जो आपने soldiers के लिए किया है.
हाँ,
Would you
the
like to?
long life chapati.
Yeah, would you like to talk about that as well?
Sir, you should speak about it
Yes.
proudly.
Proudly, yes.
Okay. So, see, Vivek, what for you and me is a chapati,
Yes.
for a person in the north is a roti,
Yes.
and for the person in central Maharashtra, it is ghadi chapoli.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The four
fold
folds.
wale.
And for a Gujarati, it is a fulka.
Fulka.
Yes.
Correct.
So it varies.
Correct.
So what I did was that I had this opportunity of working for the Indian Army,
Mm-hmm.
their food, especially for the food for soldiers who are at high altitude,
Mm.
because the mechanics, the science of technology is different for higher altitudes.
Altitudes.
there you can't use any fat, because even a small quantity of fat will make your product rock hard,
Mm-hmm.
because the temperature there is minus 51 degrees centigrade.
My God.
So it's a huge challenge.
Absolutely.
Okay, so to solve a problem, you create a bigger
Bigger
problem.
problem.
So I accepted the challenge, and the science is very simple. See, every food product has got some microorganism in it.
Yes.
Like if you take potatoes, anything that grows from the ground is rich in E. coli.
E. coli. Okay.
Okay, so that food product, whenever you make anything from that product, that is potatoes, the shelf life will come down because of this
E. coli.
coli.
E. coli.
Hmm.
So now, how do you get rid of E. coli?
Hmm.
If you want the shelf life to increase, you have to get rid of your E. coli.
Coli.
Now, E. coli dies at 79 degrees centigrade
Mm-hmm.
when subjected to 1 hour of heat.
Okay.
Okay.
Hmm.
So, there are these retort bags, pouches, they call it. So I put the chapatis in the retort packaging, and I sterilized them,
Hmm.
subjecting them to heat for 90 minutes.
Okay.
60 minutes kaha hai technically,
Hmm.
हाँ.
but 90 minutes bacha kucha E. coli bhi mar jayega.
Okay. Huh.
You see, and it took me 6 months,
Hmm.
but I got the results.
Wow.
You see, today most of the Jawans on the border
Hmm.
are eating rotis developed by me.
Amazing.
You see, so that's something which was very. And then I worked with. Once I was invited by the Sikkim government.
Okay.
Wow.
They grow a lot of oranges.
हाँ.
Yeah.
So they have a factory called Santula. Santula in Sikkimese means orange.
Okay.
So Santula factory means the factory which processes oranges.
Orange.
So I had been there, and I realized the surrounding villages, small villages, where women folk were there,
Hmm.
and they had a lot of spare time for themselves. So while talking to the head of that factory, it just struck. I said, how to keep them busy? At
Huh.
the same time, they should get some money,
Hmm.
because lot of tourists, they go to Sikkim,
Yes.
Hmm.
So what would a tourist love to eat when he's on a tour?
Hmm.
Whatever is the best found in the local.
That apart from that, he wants something fun thing,
Correct.
Yeah. A fancy thing.
fancy thing, fun thing,
Yes.
something different,
Absolutely. Huh.
So I trained them into making of truffle chocolates,
Wow.
Wow.
you see. And many of the women folk there are making truffle chocolates and selling it in the local market, thereby
Super.
earning some extra money. So that is what is going on.
Hmm.
And another interesting aspect is that, in a place called Alandi,
And
near Pune, it's on
Yes.
the border of Pune.
Pune. Yes.
There is a lady named Malan Thorve.
Yes.
She is a farmer,
Hmm.
and she grows exotic vegetables
Hmm.
like broccoli,
Broccoli.
and then various fancy names,
Hmm.
Bell peppers.
bell peppers and stuff like that.
I think she also got award with Prime Minister.
The
award.
Prime Minister felicitated her
Yes.
for being a lady farmer,
Hmm.
and for having special she has a special art, I would say.
Okay.
She carries the almanac. You know what is an almanac?
No.
ये नहीं दिखता है कौन सा सनराइज कितने बजे है, सनसेट कितने
हाँ,
बजे
हाँ,
है.
हाँ, हाँ.
It's called an almanac.
Okay.
So which star is seen at what time,
Hmm.
हाँ.
वो ये सब. Then the waxing and waning of the moon,
Hmm.
you come through know through the almanac.
Okay.
So this lady learned that science from her grandfather.
Wow.
Wow.
You know, उसको क्या बोलता है यार मराठी में? It's on the tongue, but I'm forgetting it.
So our audiences, if they know, they would
Yes.
let
Yeah.
us know in the comments.
Yes.
Yes. So she looks at the almanac and then she says, okay, the waxing and waning of the moon will be at this time.
Mm-hmm.
So at this time, I need to harvest this particular vegetable.
Wow.
You know, that is
Traditional way of
ट्रेडिशनल. अरे वो आपको मॉडर्न साइंटिफिक एग्रीकल्चरल मेथड्स में नहीं मिलेगा आपको. You know. So, but she had a problem though. That is her broccoli. She has a great demand for export in European countries.
Yes.
But by the time it goes from Alandi to Pune, and from Pune it flies down to the European place. Sometimes the broccoli would have yellow spots on it. And once it has a yellow spot, the prices crash.
Yeah.
And she loses a lot of money. She requested me, saying that कैसे क्या कर सकते हैं to maintain. So in food technology, we have something called as silver nanotechnology.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Silver nano.
Nano means
Nano
small.
means, you know,
Smallest.
The smallest.
You know what is the size of that nanoparticle? You take one strand of your hair,
Okay.
1,000th of it.
That is very, very, very
You can't see it with
See
your
it.
eyes.
naked
naked
eyes.
eyes.
No.
Ah.
You see? But these nanoparticles are so powerful. What they do is they target a microorganism. They enter their body, skin,
Mm-hmm.
through the skin. And they go inside and they cause a small burst.
Okay.
And that is how the microorganism is
Killed.
you know. So once that happens, automatically the product shelf life increases,
Correct.
because now there are no organisms to spoil the product, you see. So using this technology of silver nanotechnology, I had her shelf life. She said, I want just 6 days shelf life. I gave her 10 days.
Wow.
She is happily exporting it all over the world.
Wow.
You know, so that is another thing. So it goes on. It depends. I get these requests from all over the place, here, there. Then in Wada, you know, your Palghar Wada, you have
Correct,
heard about
correct,
it.
correct.
Yes.
Okay. You know, these Adivasis, they have very small plots, you know, and in that small plot, they stay, they grow rice, they sort of सब उनका वो छोटा प्लॉट में ही उनका चलता है.
Yes.
तो क्या कर सकते हैं? Again, value addition.
Wow.
You know?
Yes.
So I found out what they were growing. They were growing rice and they were growing ragi. So using rice and ragi, I developed for them rice chips and ragi chips.
Rice chips.
Yes. Rice
Wow.
chips and ragi chips. And you know, they are doing it and it's going on in a very nice way. There is a company in Bangalore who said that, okay, whatever you produce, we will buy it.
Amazing.
Nice.
So they have a ready-made customer.
So
Come.
again
Sir.
through government of Maharashtra, or this is separate
no,
thing.
No. This is separate.
Achha.
Okay.
This is separate.
Amazing. So, sir, what I would like to talk about next is your copyrighted thing,
Oh,
something
okay.
called as food ergonomics.
Ergonomics.
Yeah, so I was very fascinated by this word. We have all learnt about ergonomics, like sitting on a chair or maybe for our health, right? So here we are talking about food, right? So what is food ergonomics and how does it impact the food design?
Okay, great. See, ergonomics means if you're an engineering student, engineering ergonomics to you is, okay, this, I'm sitting on this chair. Okay, now, is my lower back supported? because if I have to sit for a longer period, my lower back has to be supported. So is this chair supporting? Can you see a slight bulge here?
Correct.
This is supporting my lower back.
Yes.
So this chair has got a very good ergonomic
Ergonomics.
design.
Yes.
Okay. Now coming to food. Have you seen people eating Frankies?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. वो फ्रैंकी वाला क्या करता है? फ्रैंकी रोल करता है and then he puts it in a plastic bag and gives it to you.
Correct.
Correct.
Why does he put it in a plastic bag?
क्योंकि वो सब गिर
Because-
जाता है.
वो जो करी है
हाँ.
वो ड्रिप होता
Drip
है.
नहीं
It should not fall on your
Yes.
clothes.
Messy eating.
Messy eating.
Hmm.
So he gives you that bag.
Correct.
But the question is that bag sterile? Is it good enough?
Yeah.
Or is it carrying any microorganisms?
Mhm.
Anyway, the point is that is a bad ergonomic design.
Okay.
Oh.
So how can you sort of what can you do to arrest that fall of that curry
Uh-huh.
from the Frankie? You know, there are various food technology principles you can adopt to stop the arrest of that flow,
Wow.
you know. So that is one ergonomic this. In fact, I've filed for a copyright
Mm-hmm.
for food ergonomics, you know.
Okay.
So using these various principles. My latest thing which I'm working on is, you know, these takeaway centers are there.
Yeah. QSRs.
QSRs,
Hmm.
takeaway.
हाँ.
Suppose Vivek, you're driving long distance.
हाँ.
You will realize कि आपको बोला बीच पे जरा ठहरो ना.
Hmm.
क्या है वो एक बार वो मूड में आ जाता है ना ड्राइव करने का.
हाँ.
One likes to be in that mood.
Yes.
Correct.
And in a driver's colloquial language it is called मौसम पकड़ा है आपने. और वो मौसम पकड़ के आप चलाते
चला
रहते
रहे.
हैं.
Yes.
वो मौसम तोड़ने के लिए आपको अच्छा नहीं लगता है.
Right.
हाँ.
So in that case, if you suppose you buy a coffee, okay,
Hmm.
at a outlet, at a QSR.
Hmm.
Now before you drink it, you want to stir it. So what do? You stop the car,
Hmm.
Hmm.
then you stir it and throw away that plastic chamcha
Hmm.
Hmm.
and then start drinking.
Correct.
Okay, but all this spoils your mood.
Hmm.
It also hinders your क्या बोलते हैं, एक वो जो मूड में आए हैं ना आप
The
चलाने
experience, or maybe we can say the experience of
Experience
driving.
खराब हो गया.
हाँ.
या एक्सपीरियंस खराब हो जाता
Yeah.
है चलाने का.
Yes.
So, you know, all you can do is I'm designing one glass.
हाँ.
All you have to do is just hold it, and the top of the glass there is one horizontal bar.
Yeah.
हाँ.
You just push that bar this way and that way,
Hmm.
and inside it gets stirred.
Wow.
Wow.
So that is another ergonomic example of good ergonomic design.
Hmm.
So that you don't have to stop the car. You just do that and then start drinking
Coffee on the go.
coffee on the go. You know. So that is, I give you one example of Frankie.
Hmm.
And
Sandwich.
sandwiches.
Yes.
Many a times you see these Russian sandwiches और ये सब खाते हैं.
Or maybe the
आजकल
McDonald's.
roadside also they give you sandwiches which are huge.
Yes. Yes.
When people eat it,
Yeah.
यहाँ से टमेटो गिर जाता है, यहाँ से ककड़ी गिर
हमेशा.
जाता है,
Yes.
you know, and you have everything falling all over the place.
Right.
Again, bad ergonomic
Ergonomic.
design.
Okay.
So what do you do to see that this fall doesn't take place?
Hmm.
And it's so easy, Vivek. All you do, I'll tell you the solution. Try it tomorrow.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Take a cucumber,
Hmm.
Uh,
cut it exactly into half, horizontal.
uh-huh.
Okay.
Now that half cucumber can stand.
Yeah.
Now you slice off the skin,
Hmm.
okay, and then give vertical slits,
Okay.
cuts.
Ah.
Keep that first on the bread,
Okay.
and then put your tomato and everything. It will not slide off.
Wow.
Wow.
Now
Let
that
me
is
try.
a part of good ergonomic design.
Okay.
You see.
Hmm.
So ये छोटा छोटा जो चीज है ना,
Ah.
it goes into creating a fun-filled experience of your whatever you're eating.
Yes.
So this is what I've coined the word food ergonomics.
Mm-hmm.
So how do you do that?
Wow.
So ऐसा है.
Okay. Maybe sir, I want to go back a bit into this conversation. जब आपने बताया that you made those chapatis for maybe more for the larger good of the nation in terms of how we can serve the defense people, right? Obviously, this is more particular to people protecting the country when they are in minus 51 degrees Celsius, in terms of the Siachen glaciers or maybe the area around Siachen, right? What motivated you? I mean, what brought you that thought कि मुझे I want to do something out of the box? कि वो thought भी कैसे है कि there is something that I can do in this particular maybe the problem. How do I get even thinking about that and then coming to a solution?
See, I think that time you were too small.
Yes.
Okay.
How I mean ये कब की बात है?
This early 70s की है.
Wow.
बाप रे.
You see, there was an incursion on the northeast border.
Yeah.
And that time East and West Pakistan was the same.
Yeah. Hmm.
I read a column in Times of India written by an correspondent, and he had mentioned that the Pakistani Rangers used to target the logistics team.
Okay. So that the supply is disrupted.
So the food supply at the post is disrupted.
Yes.
Keep the Jawan hungry for 7 days and then attack him. You stand a better chance of winning over him. This was the
trick.
So when the Indian Army thought about it, they realized that they wanted something with a higher shelf life. So through friends of mine, I realized that they had approached Hindustan Lever, ITC and various companies to develop for them a roti with a higher shelf life. And the answer came as a negative from various quarters. So when I was in CFTRI, my head of department, Dr. Venkateshwara Rao, he sort of gave me this idea. He said, why don't you work on this and come out with it? Initially, when I started, I didn't do it with the intention of making it for the Indian Army Jawans.
Okay.
I did it just because I wanted to do it.
So this was while you were a student?
I was a student, you see. And it took me 6 months to develop it. And after developing it, I realized the potential for it for the Indian Army. And then I read this article. And then I approached the Western Command. There was one General Koshi at that time, And when I showed him, he couldn't believe it. He said, make more samples and give it to me. So I made more samples and gave it to him. And then he found that it works. So he said, how do we go about doing it? At that time, Azad Foods in Cochin was the company which used to manufacture food for the Indian Army.
Okay.
They used to be the suppliers. So I was asked to train them to make these chapatis. But later on, when I got a patent for it, I donated the patent to the Indian Army.
Wow. That's a noble thing to do.
It's always, as I told you, food technology, sky is the limit.
Absolutely.
Just as the sky, the more the sky, there is more to go. Similarly, in food technology, the more deeper you get into it, the more deeper there is to go.
Yes.
So that's what food technology is all about.
Wow.
But apart from all this, I would love to see somebody come up with a solution for this controlling this post-harvest losses.
Okay.
Wow.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
so the latest I was reading just today. I was rather in preparation to this podcast
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
that the current post-harvest losses in rupee terms is 1.53 trillion rupees.
Oh.
That is about $16 billion.
My God.
You know,
Hmm.
and somebody has to look into it seriously.
Okay. So, sir, जो challenge अभी आपने बताया, I mean, regarding the post-harvest loss, I mean, in terms of the money, why is, or maybe I'm not sure, कि is there the government thinking about it, or is there certain policies, or maybe, you know, जहाँ आप you are supporting the government or finding out different ways, what we can do, what are the things that we can definitely put or think about to bring it down, right? So, I mean, anything that you are doing at this point of time.
See, there are various people are working on it,
Mm-hmm.
and people are working to the extent that they feel that cold rooms
Hmm.
are the solution to this problem,
Mm-hmm.
because the farmer needs to store it someplace.
Yes.
So that storage should be in a cold chamber.
Mm.
But I personally feel, having worked with the farmers, that value addition of that product is the only way out. Why? Because whatever he harvests, if he keeps it in the cold room,
Mm.
ultimately the cost of running the cold room has to be accounted for into the selling of the product.
Yes.
So the price of the product goes up.
Up. Yes.
It happened with this Osmanabad project
Mm.
Correct.
Mm.
of the khawa.
Mm.
You keep khawa in the cold storage. Keep it for 6 months, it will last.
Mm.
But ultimately, for 6 months, you have utilized the electricity,
Mm.
the labor.
Correct.
Correct.
So all that has ultimately will get reflected into the product.
Correct.
Yes.
The price will shoot up.
Yes. Yes.
Will the consumer buy it at that price? That is the question.
Mm.
Mm.
So looking into all these aspects, I feel that the value addition of a product is the best way out.
Mm.
We should have farm gate projects,
Mm.
and I've started working on it.
Mhm.
I've started taking small farmers in Alandi,
Mm.
and I'm about to launch a small scale farm gate processing center.
Mhm.
What they can do, I want to bring down food technology science such a way that a farmer can understand it, make it very easy for him
Mm. Mm.
and his children also,
Okay.
because I want the children of the farmer also to get interested in this.
Mm.
Otherwise, whenever I go there, they say that, sir, आम्हाला मुंबईमध्ये कुठे नोकरी काढून द्या ना.
Yes.
Huh? And I keep telling them, अरे you have such nice हवा here, clean हवा,
Correct.
खाने का सब इतना अच्छा है,
Yes.
ये सब छोड़ के तुमको बम्बई में झोपड़पट्टी में क्यों आके रहने का है?
Yes.
तुम यहीं रहो. So something has to be done to keep these young kids there.
Yes.
So if something has to be done means they have to be trained into something.
Okay.
Correct.
And what are they having with them?
Mm.
They are having their field
Hmm.
in which they are growing something.
Mm.
So from that produce, if we can make something, and make a finished product
Mm.
and convert it into an FMCG product
Mm.
and sell it in the market,
Mm.
then it stands a better chance.
Okay. Wow.
Why I have this stance is, whatever currently the farmers make,
Mm.
I stock it there.
Okay.
Okay.
So that people who come here,
Huh.
I have plenty of friends who are exporters.
Uh-huh.
So they come, if they find it interesting,
Uh-huh.
then let them take it on and export it. The farmer
Absolutely.
will get his ready market.
Correct.
Yes.
So this is a small, I would say, a project
Mm.
which I have started initiating.
Wow.
Wonderful.
Wow. Wonderful. Okay. So one more thought again over here. This is maybe off track to what we have been discussing. And this is more from the processing of the food. now we see so many of products. I mean, FMCG companies coming up with so much of products and all those things. I'm not sure whether, just for an example, maybe let's take the example of the tomato ketchup that you mentioned, right? So for that, maybe the shelf life would be 6 months or so. Maybe there are certain things that the companies do to increase the shelf life. Does that mean that if I, as a consumer, अगर मैं उसको continuously consume करता रहूँगा for a long period of time,
Beyond expiry.
No, maybe even if as a normal product, if I keep consuming it,
Right.
is it going to impact me, I mean, overall body, if I continue to do it
Okay.
for a long
Is it harmful to
yes,
the body?
Yes,
Correct.
yes.
Okay. Vivek, there are certain classes of preservatives.
Mm-hmm.
There are some which are harmful, which the food, this FSSA, they mention it that it is harmful and they have banned it. They don't allow the use of it.
Okay.
While some are safe.
Okay.
Do you know sugar and salt are very good preservatives?
Correct.
Yes.
We use it in achar, pickles.
Yeah,
Pickle.
the pickle. Yeah.
Okay. So, whereas some preservatives are safe, those can be used.
Okay.
But the limits are stipulated. They are clearly mentioned
Okay.
that you can use only so much and no more than that.
Okay.
And many of the companies, they comply with that because there are inspectors all over the place. They check and they find out. So nowadays the awareness has increased.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, that we need to raise more awareness on this from the producing point of view, food producing point of view, from the food technologist, right? Otherwise, abhi aisa ho gaya aajkal. I don't know if you know about a food farmer, Revan, that he is doing for the packaged foods, right? Creating an awareness on the food label. But I think the point that you are talking about, like following the guidelines and being compliant with the guidelines of FSSAI, right? So that for the food technologist is equally important. I think ये बात ज़्यादा लोगों में आनी चाहिए ताकि लोग question करे in the during the time of the production itself.
Yes.
Right? So I think that's a wonderful point that you are mentioning, that companies थोड़े कंपनीज फॉलो करती है बट थोड़े कंपनीज फॉलो नहीं करती, तो व्हाट कैन वी डू टू डू दैट?
For that, the awareness has to come from the customer.
Okay.
Because if the customer says, this is wrong, I shall not buy it, then the company
will go and
will
change
go
it.
ahead and change its policies.
Correct.
It is the customer who has to demand. He has to be aware.
Okay, so maybe the last question for today's podcast. So we have been talking about food technology, right? And we realize this is a non-conventional career path that not most of us are even aware of it, right? So maybe for people or audiences who wants to get into this field or this career path, right? So what kind of education and training is necessary to become a food technologist? Are there any specific certifications or licenses required?
Okay, good question. See, currently amongst all the available opportunities to students, I would say food technology is the most interesting thing. Why? Because it's a growing market.
Correct.
And you have heard about food security. More and more the necessity to properly utilize the food resources that is grown on this planet, so that all the people can equally take advantage of it, that is growing, and that a food technologist can do it using his education.
Okay.
So one can do a BTech degree in food technology, then continue to do his masters, and if possible, wanting to, he can do his doctorate also in that. But it is a never-ending line. You got to be creative, Ramya. It's a line which is very innovative. You can keep innovating.
Hmm.
You can keep creating. You can keep innovating. And if one can do that, it's there's nothing like food technology.
Absolutely.
You see.
Thank you so much, sir, for giving your time
Most welcome.
for us today. And it was a great, insightful, and fun talking to you. Thank you so much for coming over and doing this podcast with us.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
sir.
for giving me this, inviting me. And I just realized this chair is not ergonomically because you have kept this mic here. I am unable to go up,
Oh,
and my lower back has started aching.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
which means that some design has to be changed there. Okay.
Okay.
So, thank you very
Thank
much.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks a lot.
Mm.
Thank you for inviting me. And I hope that you keep inviting me so that
Definitely, sir. We would love
Absolutely,
to
sir.
have more podcasts
I
with you.
love this session very much.
Yeah.
I am enjoying it. So
Thank
I
you
would
so
love
much,
to be
sir.
with you all.
Definitely, we would love to have another podcast with you on different topic. We spoke so much off camera on so many different topics. I think each conversation deserves to be a podcast in itself. So definitely, we would want to
Love.
have podcast with you
Okay.
on different topics.
Most welcome.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching the episode patiently till the end. We hope you enjoyed the episode. We'll meet you again in the next episode. Till then, if you like our podcast show, then please do like, share, subscribe, and let us know your feedback in the comment section.